Okay, let's talk face. What happened to mine? I think how I want to start this off is I want to say that I know, or I'm not trying to make a big deal out of this, like a certain celebrity did when she cut her lip and refused to leave the house. Because I don't get offended very easily, and that offended me. I'm like, geez, what? You're so ugly you can't leave the house. You're too ugly to go outside because of cut. And I've certainly had more than a cut on my face in now and previous times. So I absolutely do not want to come off as me making like, oh my gosh, my face, being like over dramatic. My dog's sleeping, anything like that. So start off like that, saying I'm not trying to be over dramatic. I'm just trying to put an explanation out there for why I have a black eye, why my lip is scratched, why my shoulder, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, it's like this, and it's all bruised, and my legs look like this, except with a certain shade of purple, green, blue, and yellow. It's quite colorful down on my legs. I have sweatpants on now, so you can't see them. But yeah, somehow I am bruised literally from head to toe, from eyeball to shin. How did that happen? Well, let me just say that at this point in my life, I can I'm kind of used to it, and I can laugh it off, and kind of just is what it is. Life has its challenges, and sometimes they really suck. And this is one of those times. So we'll start at the beginning, I guess. It's really not that long of a story. I love the gym. I love going to the gym. I still love going to the gym. I go to the gym as often as I can. It's kind of my happy place. It's my escape. I just put my headphones in, and all of the problems of the world just go away. And that day was no different. I headed to the gym. And my running has not been great, so the plan for that day was to run 1 mile as quickly as I could, and then I was going to start lifting. And I was trying, in my head, I was thinking that was how I was going to start my next workouts for a while, because I need to get my running back in shape. So that's what I did. I got on the treadmill, incline a little bit, turned it up to 9, started running. And I did not run at 9 for the whole time. I ran 9, 6, 7, whatever. I just ran as hard as I could for as long as I could, trying to get my mile back, at least to somewhat of a respectable time. Well, I ran my mile. It went well. I felt fine. And at the end of it, I was cooling down. I was walking and had a seizure. I don't exactly know how that seizure went, because I was unconscious, but somehow I must have fallen forward, smashed my head on maybe on the like keypad. I'm not sure. Somehow I smashed like inside of my eye. Smashed my eye, smashed my lip, and I also, it's really hard to see it, but I also smashed right here. So like both sides of my head. And when it happened, you absolutely can't see it at all. But I had scratches on my head and they were bleeding. I don't know if that's too graphic, but it was bad. It was gross. So somehow I just hit like every single part that I could hit. And oh yeah, and my nose, it's not swollen anymore, but my nose was nice and big. So I just bounced my face around everything, I guess. And like I said, I don't know how it all happened. I just know that I smashed my face. This definitely was from, it's healing up pretty nicely now. That was definitely from the treadmill belt, because it was like ripped skin off. Yeah. I hope this isn't too graphic. And then the bruises, I understand how they happened. I don't exactly understand how I have them from my eye to my elbow to my shins. Even like as I'm like imagining it in my head, it's almost like a cartoon, like on the treadmill belt. I mean, at some point was I flipped upside down? I have no idea. But after that, I apparently talked to the office manager of the apartments where we're living right now, because we're building a house. And she was very concerned, as she should be, as any normal human with even like an ounce of a heart would be. I don't know how that conversation went, because I was still pretty out of it and not conscious enough to remember what I said. Then I went home and woke up more and started realizing, like, everything hurts so bad. Why does it hurt so bad? Then I looked in the mirror and I'm like, oh my word. Because my nose was just already like very swollen. My eye was very swollen. It was much bigger. This was from the treadmill belt too, where it just ripped. And then I realized I don't have my phone. I left it with the office manager for whatever reason. So I had to walk back to the office. And I mean, I really still wasn't very like hyper conscious of what's going on. I can imagine that people were giving me quite odd glances, because I mean, it looked like I just got in a bar fight with like a 500-pound man who only deadlifts. Like, I really lost the fight. And so I don't know like what people were thinking. I just walked right on by them. Which is kind of blissful, you know? You just don't care what anybody thinks. And went into the office, grabbed my phone. She was like, are you sure you're okay? And I'm like, oh, I'm fine. Never better. Went on home, and she did follow me home. She knocked on the door, didn't answer it, and yeah. So that's what happened to my face. I've had seizures for like 15 years. So at this point, although they are very serious and it's not something that you laugh at, humor is kind of my way of just saying, this is what I've got to deal with. This is my own challenge, is what it is. And you know, there are worse things in life. I don't have them very often, although they have been more frequent, because the stress of building a new business has heightened it. So for me, stress is a huge thing. If I'm too stressed, then they're coming. And obviously, when you're building a business, your stress is like through the roof, especially when you're doing it on your own and you're not just outsourcing everything, which I'm not. There's just a ton of things you have to do. You have to be an expert at social media and accounting and business management and, inventory, production, shipping, labeling, everything. You have to be an expert at everything, which I can do, and I'm learning how to do it. It's just, there's always something on your mind. There's always something that you're like, oh crap, did I do that? Did I do that? Did I do that? And, you know, especially when you're at like the height of a stressful scenario, for me at least, for whatever reason, I'm really good at thinking about it in my sleep and then waking up and not being able to go back to sleep. So with heightened stress and less sleep, the seizures have been coming. I don't know if you can tell, there's like a little, it almost looks like a bird right there. That was from a former one that was before this one, because they've just been more frequent. Just right now, not forever, but just right now. Because, yeah, my brain's not liking the whole stressful business owner sort of thing, but once I get all of that down pat, then it won't be a big deal. But that is what happened to my face. Seizures they're no laughing matter. I know it seems like I'm making light of it. That's how I don't let them dictate what my life looks like. Because when I first started having seizures, my doctor told me that they would dictate how my life would go. They would control whether or not I was able to be active. They would control whether or not I was able to go to college or have a good job or drive or anything. When they first started, my doctor legitimately told me, when you can, just claim disability, and you don't need to have a job, you don't need to work, you don't need to drive, you don't need to run. And running really is one of my favorite things to do, even though I've kind of let it slide lately. She told me when I was 14 years old, getting all of this stuff figured out, and it was all starting, she told me your whole life will be controlled by seizures, and nothing that you were planning on doing will ever happen because of seizures. She went as far as to tell me, her words, I quote, "You don't need to think about college because you don't know if you'll live through high school." She told that to a little 14-year-old who's like trying to figure out like, why in the world is this happening? Terrified that maybe it's brain cancer or something like that. And she just thought like, hey, I bet I can make this much worse by telling you that you might die. Yeah. I will say that when she told me all of this stuff that I wasn't able to do, it like really pissed me off. And I'm like, who are you to tell me that my life is over now? I'm 14. I've got my whole life ahead of me. And there's so much opportunity out there. And you're sitting here telling me that I might die. And if I don't die, that my entire life will be controlled by this one thing? One thing. Because really and truly, seizures are just one thing. And she was like, yeah, screw you, little kid. So that kind of lit a fire under me a little bit, because it just made me so mad that she would tell me that my entire life was over. And, you know, I have kind of made a point of making sure that nothing she said ever came true. Because who tells a little 14-year-old girl, you're gonna die, so you might as well just give up now? Okay. Anyways, my business that I'm starting, there's Simple and Beautiful Restorations, which is a furniture restoration business, which I just absolutely love, because I get to take furniture that's old and forgotten and super boring and turn it into something that's exciting and beautiful, and people get to put it in their homes and keep it for years and years and years. And my somewhat romantic, sappy self just imagines like all the memories that are made around the furniture that I get to bring back to life. And what a privilege is that, to to take something that's forgotten, turn it into something that makes memories and that life happens around. I mean, that's so exciting. My other job is, or I guess my other business is, I make soap. I am working on making candles. There's a lot of testing that still needs to go into it. I have wax melts, sugar scrubs, and I am working on liquid soap. So there's kind of like a home accessories sort of business, and that is Simple and Beautiful Life, which is also known as SaBLe Soaps. So if you ever need soap, I got you covered. If you ever need an end table, I also got you covered. Those are the businesses I'm working on. YouTube is a way that I will promote my businesses, but it's also something that I want to start just so that other people who have brain issues like seizures or anything else that you really have no control over whatsoever. Like, I can't just say the magic words, eat the magic things, and do the magic stuff and have seizures go away. They're just here. It's something that I deal with. I don't like it, but I can't change it. So I can help control it, and I can help reduce them by what I eat, what I do, sleeping, stress. My environment really dictates my seizures, but I want this YouTube channel to be kind of like a story of a girl, for lack of better words, that has seizures and still really just kicks life's ass and, kills it and has her own business. And maybe one day I'll do bodybuilding or something, 'cause that would be freaking awesome. I follow just about every bodybuilder on Instagram. But yeah, I would love for other people with seizures or brain issues to be able to come and see this channel and just get some sort of motivation. I don't feel like we're very covered when it comes to YouTube. I mean, I don't get on YouTube and just instantly see a world of people who are having seizures and are like rocking life. So yeah, that's what I would like for this to start turning into, is for those of us out there to be able to come and see a daily vlog or something and just be like, you know what? If she can do it, I mean, I'm walking around with black eyes and this little bump on my forehead used to be massive, and if she can just keep going, even though she's, literally life's punching me in the face every now and then I can too. Even if your seizures are bad, you still have hope, you still have life, you can still have a great life, and it's not all bad news, and you can still you can make something out of this despite the challenges that are thrown your way that you have no control over, and you can't just make them go away. You have to deal with it. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that I can give people with brain issues a place to go, a place to relate, a place to be motivated, and to know that they can kick the world's behind too. If you have questions, just let me know. I'm pretty much an open book. Like I said, this has been my life since I'm like 14. So, open book. I want you to know that if you're just at the beginning stage of having your seizures, just been diagnosed with epilepsy, or you're like me, you've had them for a little while, we're an open community here. We're a little small still, but we're here for everybody. I'm here for everybody, and I want people with epilepsy to know that it's a challenge, and it's a challenge that is accepted, and it's a challenge that we will annihilate. It is not a challenge that will annihilate us. That's not how it works. So, any questions? I'm an open book. I am about to go to the gym and then eventually walk my sleeping dogs, which I don't know. Yeah, you can see him. He's snoring. So maybe the next time you see me, my eye will be normal, and hopefully this doesn't scar, because I am kind of sick of having scars. Especially on my face. I'm not good with makeup, which is why you do not see me having eyeshadow, because I don't have eyeshadow, because I could make these match. Let's just hope it doesn't turn into a scar. Let's leave it at that. Okay, I'm going to go to the gym, and I hope that this video encourages you to follow along and see what we get into in this crazy life and feel motivated, and just know that you're not the only one out there with epilepsy or any challenge that you can't get over or just shoo away. And yeah, we'll just conquer them here. Bye.